Have you given up on competitive play yet? If you did, then be assured you are not the only one. And in the context of Overwatch, giving up and not giving up is not as much of a clear-cut decision as you think. It's a spectrum. What I mean by that is that there are various levels of giving up that players have adopted. It isn't so much that they decide to stop participating in ranked play period, but that they treat competitive play differently than they would like. And if the forums are to be believed, then there are actually benefits to deciding to do that. But what does that mean? You know when you're just about to rank up into the next division and you get a bit nervous or even stressed out? You are a single victory away from trading your platinum badge for a diamond one. And if that's the first time ever for you, then this match can mean a heck of a lot. It's a milestone that represents not only your progression, but it marks a new level of gameplay for many players. Because no matter how often people like me say that some things never change, including the problem of smurfing, boosting, and simply not caring, ranking up still feels very special to a lot of players. Now, if you are in a situation where you have given up to an extent that your rank does not matter to you anymore, you might find yourself winning more games. If you keep skipping before the play of the game ends and decide to just queue up again without looking at your elo, it's very possible that you don't even realize how much you have climbed until you notice that your badge has changed. And it might even have an impact on your overall enjoyment of the game. I mean, sure, the general consensus is that it makes more sense to care about your own improvement than your elo, but we all know how few people actually adopt that kind of a mindset. They want everything handed to them, and especially in a game as team reliant as Overwatch, it is very easy to shove the blame away to your teammates. So once you give up on competitive play and your elo in particular, you might actually find yourself enjoying the game more as a result. And that seems to be a strange phenomenon in our community, at least judging by the forum posts I have read. Some of you might remember my video on taking Overwatch too seriously, in which I've concluded that the distinction between competitive play and quick play exists to give players different kinds of experiences. Just like any sport that you decide to turn from a fun pastime to a more competitive pastime by joining a club, there is a distinct separation between casual and competitive environments in which a competition is to be taken seriously, even if it's just a video game. So how come that once players give up, they often tend to enjoy the game more and even end up ranking higher than they did when they were blood, sweat and tears trying to win their games? Well, it's important to figure out what we give up on first. If we gave up on the game as a whole, naturally we would not be playing it anymore. But if we just give up on trying to win, then that can have a number of different effects. As I've hinted at before, not caring is generally seen as a negative thing, because in competitive play, you are supposed to care and you are supposed to take it seriously. Somebody who doesn't care ends up usually not trying as hard as they could, and in a competitive environment, that just is not fair towards your teammates and your enemies who actually value the competition. And that could obviously be a negative thing. However, if we give up on our own ranks as opposed to giving up on winning, then that can already look very differently. Though you might wonder where the difference is, because isn't the point of the game to win so you can rank up? Doesn't that mean giving up on the one means also giving up on the other? That's where you would be wrong, because in essence, competitive play is about the competition. And sure, the ranked player base was diluted by means of acquiring certain rewards, but in large, ranked play is still about competing. And remember, Overwatch is an inherently team-based game, so if you stop caring about your individual rank, but you still care about each of the matches you participate in respectively, your own quality of gameplay might improve, because you finally see the game mode for what it was meant to be. A competitive, team-based experience in which you put what matters to the team over what matters to you and your bragging rights. And this is the phenomenon that many players are seemingly facing right about now. It is often titled a weird or even outright negative thing in which the game is supposedly so bad that you stop caring about it, but then through the power of RNG, magically rank up in the end. But don't forget that giving up is not always a negative thing, because you caring more about your rank than the competition itself could be seen as negative relative to the mode you participate in. So what you end up doing is giving up on something selfish that held you back up until now, which is a weird thing, particularly when we always felt like the true satisfaction came from actually ranking up. But let's not pretend that all these things are positive at the end of the day. Next to the example we mentioned earlier in which not caring about competition ruins the game for a lot of other people, there's obviously more to it than just that. And this is where I would like to bring up some of my personal anecdotes, because up until season 5, I was big into competitive play. And after taking a break for a couple seasons in which I just really hated the meta, I kept telling myself that the next season would be the one where I would rise again from the ashes. But I haven't ever followed through with that, and instead I always gave up shortly after trying to get back. And it's not even like I hated the meta, let alone the game. I mean, plenty of you guys told me that I was crazy for suggesting that the meta right now was actually quite pleasant. Between Doomfist and Widowmaker still running rampant and the GOATS comp being one of the highest rated complaints of season 12, it's not like we are short of reasons to be angry. However, whenever I did play competitive, even when I ended up losing, I was actually having a pretty good time. Hell, after playing with Nate a few times, I even asked if he wanted to duo with me more often to help me in my process of competitive rehabilitation, as naturally a good bit of my skill would have deteriorated by now. And guess what? We haven't played together since. I just lost my urge to grind the game. I mean, you can tell by the gameplay in the background of my videos, if you so happen to have ever paid attention. I haven't been in Grandmaster in freaking ages, and whenever I was, it has just been below 4100. And personally, I don't even acknowledge players as actual Grandmasters unless they are consistently above 4200. So really, I was just a Masters player that got lucky. 4000 is like my hard cap of skill when I actually sweat my dick off trying to win. But what happened between back then when I really cared about competitive play and now where I just can't be asked to grind back up to my peak? Have I also given up? Well, you see, over time, in combination with the YouTube kind of becoming my job, I have ended up finding liking to different things. During my competitive absence, I ended up playing more Mystery Heroes, which is a great game mode that just embraces the RNG in its entirety and allows me to play heroes I wouldn't usually touch in an environment where most people in the lobby are very likely to end up with a character they are not very good at. And the overall response of my channel to using this footage was that they also prefer that gameplay. Even though I'm not very good on a lot of these heroes, just the fact that I presented variety gameplay over just a cycle of Zenyatta, Lucio, Moira, and Mercy in ever the same compositions made people enjoy the background gameplay more. And even though the focus of my videos are the discussions, that response lined up with the data, because I have seen a decent increase in average view duration at that time. Personally, I started thinking, great, I have way more fun playing all kinds of characters and Mystery Heroes over playing comp anyway. Since, as you might remember, I really hated the meta at the time. Or really any meta that followed for a good while. At the end of the day, I lost an illusion that made me feel like people wouldn't care about what I have to say unless I was providing competitive gameplay. So everything kind of started pointing towards casual play making more sense than comp. Nobody gave a rat's ass about which elo I was in, and the general consensus was that variety gameplay was more fun than showing exclusively support footage. And since I have been playing this game since launch, I have seen just all kinds of bullshit. Grandmaster is not the elo heaven that a lot of players believe it is. If anything, you get even more angry at the people who ruined the ladder because you'd assume that somebody who's up there is actually a competent player. Knowing that I'd be dealing with the same nonsense disregarding the rank I'm in, and knowing that I would have to show a significant improvement in my own skill to even get high enough to consider myself a real Grandmaster, I just ended up feeling it wasn't worth the effort. I have comfortably reached my skill ceiling already, and anything above that would require way more dedication than I was willing to provide, especially because I'm also making videos at the same time. Though it is worth noting that I've never played a game that provides lows as low as an Overwatch, but also the absolutely highest highs when things actually went the right way. That means that between having the absolute time of my life when playing with a good team, I've also never gotten as angry at a video game as I have here. And I think all of you competitive players know that kind of frustration. Because even when you don't care about your rank anymore and by that eliminate one possible thing to make you angry, there is still so much bullshit in this game just looking to piss you off. And by now, I have reached a point where most of my friends don't even play the game anymore. And those that do always call quits after like half an hour to an hour. And who could blame them? As much as I would like to play more, going solo takes a lot of determination that I just don't find in myself because Overwatch is not new and exciting anymore, and anything is made more fun when played with friends. Even though I had these experiences where I played solo and actually had a blast, like a competitive game on Rialto that we managed to lose by a meter or two, or a set of quick play matches where my team and I decide to play around me as an attack Torbjorn at 3 in the morning. There is this mental barrier that reminds me of all the anger-inducing bullshit that this game houses, and overcoming that to convince myself to play solo is rough. And I'm telling you all that because I'm convinced that some of you out there feel the the exact same. I mean, I keep seeing it on the forums. Sure, Reddit is super happy with all the World Cup esports stuff that is going on, but to me, it is really boring compared to the Overwatch League. And Owl was like this massive motivation boost that kept me playing. Watching Jay Jonak rack up more damage than many DPS made me wanna get better at Zenyatta myself. Watching Hydration on Genji made me wanna pick up the Robo Ninja myself to see if I could imitate some of their plays with a bit of practice. And could I? Hell no, but I still had lots of fun learning new heroes and strats. So what do I really want to say with this video? Whether or not you like a meta is obviously very subjective. If your favorite heroes are not currently favored, then chances are that you won't have as much fun playing the game. But if you don't feel completely disconnected from the game just yet, then chances are that the next exciting thing that happens will give you a boost in motivation to come back to play. Whether that's the upcoming Halloween event, BlizzCon later this year, or the return of the Overwatch League in Season 2. Or maybe even just the hope that a meta shifts towards creating a more pleasant gameplay experience for you in particular. It's okay to feel like giving up every so often. It just really depends on what you want to give up on. And as long as you don't feel like giving up on the game in its entirety, chances are you can get that spark back that made you feel excited in the first place. It's something I get whenever I manage to get my friends together to play some custom games, or whenever I play Attack Tournament at 3 in the morning in quick play. Next video might even be a short roundup of my favorite custom games you can play in Overwatch. They are extra fun when played with friends, but you can even just play them with randoms to embrace the RNG nature of Overwatch. I don't often use custom mode gameplay because it just looks too weird and random for a video, but let me know if you'd be interested in an upload about that. At the end of the day, you can't manufacture the feeling of excitement as much as you can't manufacture the feeling of giving up. If you can't find it in yourself to not care about your rank and the RNG BS in comp is ruining the game for you, then I can't help you with that. But there's more to Overwatch than just competitive play. And if you don't overdose yourself on a 6-hour tilt session and instead play something else in between, you might even find yourself having more fun whenever you do play, just like me. I mean, we are in that time of the year where there are a lot of games to choose from, so until something new happens in Overwatch, why not take a look at something else? The way I like to play World of Warcraft in the evening to have a chill, fun time, you might want to find yourself something else as well that you can switch to when Overwatch becomes too tilt-inducing. And if you only find yourself raging at the game, maybe switching entirely might also be an option for you. Which I know is a stupid thing to say given that I cover Overwatch in my videos and it should be in my best interest to keep you guys interested in this game so you also keep watching my videos. But ultimately, I don't feel like pretending that everything's great just to try and convince some people to keep playing when they really don't want to. But enough real talk for today, at least from me. What are your thoughts on the matter? Have you given up on some aspect of competitive play? How has that been treating you? Or have you given up on Overwatch as a whole? Feel free to sound off down in the comment section below. And a quick reminder that Overwatch is still available in this month's Humble Monthly as an early unlock for just $12. So get yourself Overwatch on the cheap via my link in the description below to not only support me, but also charity in the process. Thanks for watching guys, and I hope to see you all next time.